Hey, it's me, Crescendo, and welcome back to Get Used to It, my second video series that focuses on me getting used to drawing on an iPad, usually using a 20 minutes quick pose session, 1 minute each pose to make me a seasoned iPad drawer. This time I'm doing something a little bit different. It's a mix of my other video series, Sketch, Play, Show, Quick, and Get Used to It. So this time what I've done is sat down and drawn doodle style on my pad, something that just came right into my head when I sat down at a cafe while I'm on vacation and just drew. And while I'm doing it, I thought I'd talk a little bit about my process. Some people have been curious about that, so I want to kind of weigh in on how I approach these drawings. Like the Sketch, Play, Show, Quick series, when I sat down for this video, I had no real idea of where to go, or I didn't pre-plan something. I just let my pen guide me, and that's really what both these series are about. A lot of my work lately has been for clients, drawing things for them, for books, illustrations, and designs. So I really wanted to get back to that fun place when I first started drawing, where I just kind of sat down and drew, just kind of like tapped into whatever was going on in my head to make something fun, interesting, mostly for myself. If it looks good for other people, so much the better. But I was just kind of drawing for my own enjoyment. So like I said, I sat down with this one with just a flash of, I guess what you would call inspiration. I saw this face in my head with his tongue lolling out. And that's not to say that this finished doodle looks exactly like what I was thinking about. I just had the kind of like bare bones of it in my head, plus maybe like a kaleidoscopic explosion of colors that I wanted to put in this piece, that most of which did not make it in there, actually. It ends up being much more conventional than it was in my head, but I guess that's just how things happen in my brain while I'm drawing. It's almost like I get this pixelated look of what I want, or this high-level topographic scene of what I want to do. And throughout the drawing process, I drilled down and down until it's something more formed and real and not so nebulous as it was in my head. So you see, as I start coloring and moving through it, like things become a little bit more definite and more concrete. And I guess I should also talk about the role of influences in my work, or I think probably in anybody's work. I think there's been a lot of talk with AI bros about AI being just like people, kind of smashing together influences to make something quote unquote new. There is something to that, but I think there's a bit more. Like you can see in the background, there's a little bit of an influence from maybe Super Mario World and these mountains in the background, and old cartoons and the Pac-Man shaped eyes of the main character here. But it's not really that I'm drawing from those things as a real reference. It's kind of a flow, it's like the way these things play together, but are also uniquely filtered through the sand and silt of my brain, like river water through sand, distilling into something that's quite a bit different than what I thought it would be, like if I were to consider this starting from a prompt, quote unquote, like some kind of like, my prompt is draw something colorful and energetic as I sat down to the desk. This isn't quite the idea that I had when I sat down. It turned into something else. It became something else. And while I was drawing, I let my pen do that. There's a unlimited amount of small decisions that you make when you draw And in this one, I did the same. Which pen do I pick? Which color? How do I make something more appealing to myself? How do I make it make sense? What materials do I use, even though I'm using this marker-like look? How can I also add in these fluffy clouds in the background? I mean, these are all the things that I'm thinking of while I'm drawing. Not everything at all. But this is kind of how I'm delving into each sketch that I make when I'm making it, and I let myself just kind of have fun and let my hand do what it's going to do. So if you stuck with me through my very brief overview of my drawing and painting process for this piece, thanks for joining me. Hope you're enjoying this very special edition of Get Used to It, where I'm getting used to drawing on my iPad by doing something unexpected, unguided, and a little bit unhinged maybe. If you have any comments about what I'm doing or have any feedback, let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you like it. Hope to see you also in my other sketching series, Sketch Play Shown Quick. That's where I use a real pad and a real pencil, using real paper to draw 30-minute compositions, sometimes doodles, pressed down to 3 minutes each one, super time-lapse style, so you do not get bored. Once again, thanks for being here. Hope to see you at Sketch Play Shown Quick, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.